Welcome, everyone. I cannot tell you how happy we are, how grateful we are that we managed to all get together for this occasion. And it seems that fates have conspired to give us reasonable weather to avoid storms and heat. And I'd just like to take a moment to thank Sarah Webster and Bill Bishop, the whole maintenance crew, our nursing staff, and everybody who spent many hours this week focusing on how we could make this happen and pull it off. And so I cannot tell you, this is such a happy occasion. Thank you all for being here. I've been wondering what to say, and sometimes I find it too easy to speak, and I say more than I should, or things that I should have thought more carefully about. And yet, I did want to go somewhat ad-lib today, rather than write it down, because I wanted it to really come from the heart. One of the things I think we've all learned in the last few months is that an essential part of school is being together. And that learning is something that is better appreciated, even a better experience when we are sharing it together. Zoom is not the future of education. It most definitely is not. Learning is a shared activity that we grasp together, explore together, and travel the road to knowledge together. And I think it will always be that way. So, as I've thought about us coming together, I've also thought, what could I say that would be in some way impactful? And I have recently been trying to switch my reading habits away from trashy spy novels, which I read as sort of decompression entertainment, towards more serious literature. And so I picked up a copy of Sally Rooney's debut novel, which was highly rated and a bestseller on the New York Times list of fiction. And I turned the first page, and it starts with a quote from the poet Frank O'Hara. And the quote is, "In times of crisis, we must all decide again and again whom we love." And when I read that, as sometimes happens, I'm sure to you as well, my mind sort of tumbled off into thinking about other things that it reminded me of. And it brought to mind a passage from Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, which for those of you who may not be familiar, Khalil Gibran was an American Lebanese poet, and he wrote a series of poems, and his book, The Prophet, which is a series of prose poems, has sold 9 million copies since it was first published, and has been translated into hundreds of different languages. And it reminded me that there was something in there that spoke to togetherness, and sounded in my memory as if it was written for a pandemic. And I was able to find it, and I want to share it with you now. Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of heaven dance between you. And it concludes by saying, "And stand together, yet not too near together, for the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow." So I hope for all of you who graduate today, a wonderful experience as you move on into the next stage of your life, and that you remember that space is also something that is good, as well as togetherness. And I hope that you grow and grow grow separate and not in one another's shadows, but are happy and fulfilled. Thank you for being our graduating class in this most trying of circumstances. It's my pleasure to introduce our alumni speaker, Mr. Andy Mara. And Andy graduated from Park Tudor in 2006, and during his senior year, he served as the class representative to the Alumni Board and was a recipient of the Frank Meek Award. Andy attended DePaul and graduated in 2010, and with a degree in economics, and went on to graduate from IU Robert McKinney School of Law in 2013. He was elected to the Park Tudor Alumni Board in 2015 and currently serves as the secretary. This year, the Alumni Board created a grant program for student-led programs and activities, and Andy was instrumental in developing the application process. And the first grants were awarded this spring, and the next round will be awarded in the early fall. After practicing law in Indianapolis for several years, in April, Andy founded his own law firm, Mara Legal. Andy and his wife Molly live in Carmel and have two daughters, Ella, age 4, and Rory, age 2. It's my pleasure to introduce Andy Mara.
Thank you, Gareth, for the warm introduction and for having me here today. I would also like to thank Mrs. Sarah Webster for giving me a phone call and asking me to speak, as my speaking was generally prohibited in her class as a student more than 15 years ago. And I imagine that if I'm already sweating through my suit, you boys in the bow ties aren't faring well as well. So the promise I'm going to make to you guys is brevity. Now, the older I get, the more I realize Park Tudor memories will last a lifetime. I just went to a concert this last Friday night with 2 alums, and as we were reminiscing about the school, we could taste the chicken patties as if we were eating in the Commons. And we could smell the fresh sawdust as if we were building a set backstage at the theater. And we could hear our friend torturing his saxophone, trying to earn his band cred. Now, with all of you, what you have yet to fully experience is that the shared Park Tudor memories will create lasting bonds that connect you to both each other and the broader Park Tudor network. And these memories create very tangible impacts outside of these gates. Now, these small memories are shared by thousands of alums, and these alums have a genuine interest in your growth. Now, a group of Park Tudor students, a group of Park Tudor alumni recruited me to go to DePaul University. A group of alums influenced me to attend law school. And a Park Tudor alum made the introduction for my first job, and the first referrals that came into my law firm came from a Park Tudor alum. Lastly, and maybe most important, a Park Tudor alum is the godfather to my oldest daughter. Now, these 5 defining life moments were guided by 5 different groups of Park Tudor alumni. Park Tudor has nurtured you to graduation, and its network will continue to do so far into the future if you leverage those opportunities. Now, how do you leverage this network? Start simple. First, I would tell you to join the Park Tudor Alumni Association. Among others, it provides a formal connection to the school after you graduate, and it also provides professional and networking opportunities. So feel free to reach out to Kelly Teller, who's the director of the Alumni Relations for Park Tudor, for more information there. And secondly, maybe more importantly, reach out. One of the positive outcomes people is that it's created more time. Now, I would suggest that you write down 3 careers that you may be interested in and leverage the alumni network. The Alumni Association organized a 10-minute chat with alums in that field to learn about their career path and learn about how they got there. Now, this 10-minute phone call should be short enough that you can squeeze it in between your next TikTok dance video or hot dropping into Storage Town. Lastly, don't forget that the glass is half full. I entered the job market for the first time during the Great Recession, and I just started a law firm during a pandemic. Life is all about how well you play the cards you're dealt. The Park Tudor Alumni Network includes some of the brightest and most driven people you'll ever meet. It spans most states and offers insight into most careers. Seize the opportunity in front of you to have a conversation with and learn from someone who has been in your shoes, and then walk the miles you have yet to travel. You'd be surprised how many opportunities in life can start with a simple phone call. This speech did. Thank you.
It's now my pleasure to introduce our student speaker, Lucy Crawson, who is our Student Council President-elect. In her years at high school at Park Tudor, Lucy has been engaged in such a wide range of activities and sports that it's actually quite difficult to catalog them all. She has been an integral part of student government in all her years of high school, and she has been active in Model UN and many other clubs, as well as committing service hours and being active in her church community as well. But if there's one area of endeavor that Lucy maybe is most famous for at school, is as an athletic powerhouse. She is one of the toughest and most committed athletes you will see on the field, bar none, irrespective of sport, irrespective of gender. I have watched her play soccer, I've watched her play lacrosse, and I have to say, when I watched her play soccer, I said, thank goodness I never had to play on the field with Lucy, because I would have left with bruises. She is fearless, she has been part of a championship team, and she has been a wonderful source of encouragement and engagement. And we look forward to her year as Student Council President because we know it will be a great year. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Lucy Crawson.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Park Tudor student body, I'm honored to be here today to help celebrate the exceptional class of 2020. I could stand up here and go on and on about all of their impressive academic achievements, as there are a lot, but instead, I want to focus on the characteristics that truly set this class apart from those which have come before. The spectacular school spirit exemplified by this class is unlike anything that Park Tudor has seen in a long time. Under their leadership this past year, attendance at sporting events, performances, and community gatherings soared dramatically. For the first time ever, we had to move our student section at football games from the left side of the bleachers to the middle section, which is nearly 2.5 times the size. Thanks to our enthusiastic seniors and their passion for wanting the student body to thrive, our newly located student section was always seen full, if not overflowing, cheering on our Panthers. If you were to ask different students from each grade in the upper school, What was it that made the class of 2020 so special? I can almost guarantee you that the word inclusivity would be in each of their responses. Their ability to make everyone feel integrated is a trait that I hope future classes will strive to model. The class created a welcoming environment where no one felt less than just because they were in a younger grade. I would like to personally thank the class of 2020 for this, as their exceptionally welcoming demeanor has been monumental in making my and many others' high school experience so wonderful. It is not every day you find a senior class so eager to make underclassmen feel included. And I know that this is unique, not only to Park Tudor, but to this class. They are truly special. When preparing my remarks for today, I often found myself wondering, what exactly was it that caused this class to be so good at reviving school spirit and creating such a cohesive environment? Was it luck? Or did they just happen to have a couple of individuals who were particularly skilled in these areas? I don't think that was all that was at play. It was more than that. I came to the conclusion that they shined in these areas because first and foremost, they got along with each other. Without this foundation, none of this could have been accomplished. They loved each other, they loved their school, and it showed. From the bottom of my heart, I can truly say that the hallways, bleachers, and classrooms at PT will not be the same without you. You've left us big shoes to fill, but I am confident that because of the amazing example you have set, our student body will continue to thrive. We recognize that this is a gift you've given us. We cherish it, and we won't let you down. Your legacy will live on.
Our faculty speaker is the head of the upper school, director of the upper school, Mrs. Sarah Webster. And I thought a bio is probably not the best way to introduce her because she is somebody with whom you are so familiar. In fact, I probably am one of those people within this gathering who have known her for the least number of years. And so I thought a bio doesn't quite hit the mark. So what I decided was I wanted to give you some insight into what it means to have Sarah as a colleague. This has been some kind of year, and it's all affected us in many ways, but it has been pressuring and a source of confusion and doubt, and it has been just plain difficult. I don't think that I or many of us could have gotten through this without having a team of people who were both supportive and wise in their advice and who gave us a constant stream of encouragement and a little bit of a nudge when we started to go off course. And so I think in a way that also describes how she has been as a high school director. Encouraging with a little bit of a nudge when you went off course. I cannot tell you how much I have appreciated her support and advice, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Mrs. Sarah Webster.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Class of 2020, on behalf of the faculty, I bring congratulations on this most important day. Whether you joined us last fall or you are a lifer, all of you are a Panther through and through. Today marks one of those moments in your life where you both look back and ahead, all in the same breath. I ask that you stay with me in this moment, be present, and enjoy what today brings. In these moments, you will be challenged as you step forward to decide what from your past experiences you leave behind and what you take with you. This spring, we have all been constantly asked to redefine experiences as we know them. This ceremony is a perfect example. Steeped in the tradition of 118 years, our commencement is a shared experience of thousands of alumni. As we were planning, we were challenged to decide which elements were essential to preserving the tradition and which elements could be let go, all while working with local and state mandates beyond our control. Being together rose to the top of our priorities. We had to be comfortable redesigning our tradition that was familiar and quite honestly ran like clockwork for many years. As a creature of habit, lover of the scheduled and predictable, this was really difficult for me. 3 of us had to literally sit in this space on Friday morning, stand up, sit down, move around, walk across the stage to actually reimagine what the ceremony would look like. I remember the exact moment with my colleagues where I thought, this is going to be okay. I share this with you as you head to the next leg in your journey, which might also feel very uncertain. I ask that you take the pieces of all of your previous experiences, hold on to the most important and cherished parts, and allow yourself to fully embrace the wonderful opportunities that await you, even if they don't feel completely comfortable. These moments will come again as you earn your next degree, change jobs, and choose partners. Don't be afraid of the other side. Trust yourself, honor your past experiences, and stand firm in what you know to be true. At the same time, allow yourself to be vulnerable, to grow, and look at even the most routine tasks through a different lens. As this is a moment of reflection, the phrase, "don't know what you got till it's gone," often pops into people's minds. Musicians from Joni Mitchell to Janet Jackson to Linkin Park have made songs about it. Yet, this is not our experience with the class of 2020. We don't need to wait until you're gone to understand fully what we have. Since entering the upper school, you have brought life, laughter, and love to our hallways. Your love for each other, your teachers, and your school led us for the past 4 years. Stands were filled again, audiences were full of energy. Our weekly Zoom calls were even filled with spirit and also your strength. You allowed yourselves to be challenged. You grew in ways expected and ways completely unexpected. While we miss seeing you, we are so happy to celebrate you today. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my colleagues, the faculty, who are with us today, even from afar. They too were faced with a pivotal moment on March 11th. We asked them to preserve all the components of a Park Tudor education that our students and families have come to know and love, while pushing forward in new, creative, and innovative ways. They rose to every single challenge we placed in front of them. Please join me in thanking our faculty for their incredible work and dedication to our community. Friends, it is fitting that we conclude your 4 years exactly where they began, on our campus together. Today, we celebrate and honor you. Know that when you leave here this afternoon, you have an entire community cheering you on. Congratulations to our class of 2020. We wish you all the best in whatever you set out to accomplish. And don't forget, we will always be here to welcome you back home. Thank you. Mr. Vaughn and Mr. Kimball, on behalf of the faculty, it is my honor to present the class of 2020 to receive their diplomas. As is our custom at Park Tudor commencement exercises, we acknowledge the class as a whole. Therefore, to honor the accomplishments of the entire class, please hold your applause until all members of the class have been presented. Alicia Leanne Ahome. Zachary Michael Aldrich. Eli Daniel Anderson. Zainab Iman Athar. Madeline Elizabeth Baxter. David Wolf Bender. Jenny Xingyu Kai. Benjamin Quinn Carpenter. Varun Manish Chetta. Kara Lee Klaus. Ryan Anthony DeTillo. Chloe Vienna Divens. Gayhart Enumeva Dodo. Daniel Jacques Ehrlich. Henry Gus Erickson. Emily Catherine Fisher. Riley Elizabeth Foster. Zoe Renee Franz. Lily Catherine Gray. Melody Guo. Isaac William Hargett. David Thomas Held III. Grace Abigail Hillman. Jonah Zachary Hillman. Quentin Bradley Hurst. Gage Wallace Holly. Gaddafi Dakari Bishop Lateef Honaker. Amy Michelle Isaac. Erica Nicole Isaacs. Anna Christina G. Zandi Quay Kabunga. Adam Maurice Katz. Mohammed Khan. Kristen Nicole Kiley. Justin Samuel Matthew Kinchin. William Patrick Knitter. Ian Edwin Kroll. Nura Hassan Lamb. Parker Addison Loeffner. Sydney Anise Blair. Brett James Libros. Sophia Ling. Amir Cornelius Lloyd. Madeline Isabel Ann Lowen. Nicole Marie Leake. Henry Liu. Oliver Henry Main. Sharon. Aria Rose Malkani. David McWilliams. Ashlyn Marie Michael. John Charles Miller. Iman Mirza. Kevin Stephen O'Neill. Saban Mahir Patel. Kaylee Alice Paw. Hannah Virginia Pelletier. Isha Panagati. Nermeen Fatima Rahman. Benjamin Baxter Rankin. Abigail Victoria Resnick. Nathan Samuel Roach. Sarah Jane Robertson. Drake Osley Rogers. Holiday Louise Rogers. Meyer Solomon Rothbaum. Alexa Dale Runnels. Jaden Anthony Seymour. James Hancock Seymour. Philip Elijah Shelton. Claudia Horty Siegel. Anusha Sinha. Cameron Michael Smith. Caroline May Smith. Jordan Lillian Snow. Trevor Michael Sullivan. Nicholas Nels Sertani. Trinity Amaya Terrell. Kendall Micah Townsend. Andrea Maria Untama. Caitlin Elizabeth Warren. Matthew Wei Shea. Harry Joe. Friends and family, I present to you Park Tudor's newest class of alumni, the class of 2020.